I've been having a fantastic time. It's only my first day here. The vibe is amazing. Everyone's very friendly, very open-minded, obviously, because they wouldn't be here if they weren't. And I'm just enjoying being in Montana, too. It's a great place to have a convention.
My background is in accounting. I currently work in the mortgage industry. I'm a loan originator. I've been tracking some of these issues at a young age. I was about 17, 18. I'm very familiar with America's past and the economic conditions here. But I think it was just time for me to come out here and meet some like-minded individuals, so that way I could just get a lot of things off my chest, but also at the same time be able to learn more and see, if I could take my knowledge and pivot, right or pivot left, and maybe there's some things that I'm getting wrong, and maybe somebody else out here could help me better understand some of the research that I have been doing. I seek truth. I seek more reality. I guess that's just kind of like inside of me. Maybe my mentor had put that in me at a young age. That's something that definitely brought me here to this conference. Just a general inquiry. Just kind of want to learn more and just kind of be able to better prepare myself and anyone that I lead, for a better future. There was a young lady, her name is Harriet. I don't remember her last name. She was a phenomenal speaker, actually one of my favorites here today. One thing that was really interesting, if I'm not mistaken, she said that the government, if you combine all the government salary, it was about 32% of the GDP of the country. I thought that was an amazing statistic, and I remember all the other statistics that she put out there, but it was pretty amazing to to realize that. Harry is somebody I would definitely have to speak to, look more into it. I have a pretty scientific mind. I kind of like to look at things, kind of look at all the evidence before I can come to a conclusion. So that's something that I look for more into investigating. Anybody who is curious, want to learn more about economics, government policy, and just want to network. I mean, come on out into the Red Pill Expo. You'll meet a lot of great people. People are very nice out here. They got great food. It's definitely relaxing. You're surrounded by a bunch of mountains and good climate. The air is different. I'm from the city of Philadelphia, where the buildings are skyscrapers, is ice falling off the buildings, and it's very crowded, and it's different. So if you're looking for something different and a change, and being able to network, meet some people, have some great food, be in a good atmosphere, like-minded people, it's definitely a conference you want to come to.
Oh, I mean, it was a lot of I'm familiar with most everything that was talked about. But it was great to see so many people with so much information all in one place. I mean, I wished I had seen something like this 20 years ago, because I had to do it all the hard way. It was great to see someone like Lord Monckton, who I've watched for years, being here talking. That was pretty cool. Just all of them. The gal that spoke on the education system was phenomenal. The one giving the stats on where all the money goes in this government, that stuff was all facts and figures that don't lie. Pretty amazing.
Well, I wanted to find out the truth. I'm trying to find, I realize that the mainstream news has an agenda, and just wanted to hear what people have to say. I also have some health issues, and was really interested in hearing what Ty Bollinger had to say. He's one of my heroes. I saw the Cure for the Quest, I believe it was called, on cancer, and the nutritional part of it really interests me. So I've been following it partly, but haven't delved completely into all of his principles. And it was very interesting to hear what he had to say on vaccines yesterday.
Anything else you heard yesterday that you remember or that you liked?
Most things I heard were really mind-blowing and just incredible. And there are so many heroes that are doing such wonderful work in bringing us the truth. Mm-hmm. I got something out of everyone. It was all very, very good, great knowledge. It was just, it was very, very well done. Really appreciated the bravery of some of the people up there, the woman who was in prison for 3 years. Sherry was put in prison after working for the IRS, and it was just shocking to think of the power that they have and the control that they have, and how they can pretty much pin on you anything that they choose to, but especially in her case, all she was doing was speaking the truth. And that was very disheartening to think that could actually happen, but it does happen.
Yeah, but I guess she's triumphing in her own way now.
She is. She's a brave, brave lady, and I'm so proud that I got to meet her and hear her.
I would say it was a lineup of speakers. We've been following several of them on the internet, and they just drew us into it. We thought, well, this would be something where we could learn from the different speakers here.
Actually, years ago, I met some survivors from the USS Liberty. So for me, that began a quest for difficult truths, and it led us on a lot of paths to where a lot of these speakers are representing various topics of interest to us, and we're trying to connect all the dots and find out exactly what's happened to our country and what we need to do to get our country back.
And you thought this meeting would cover that?
Yes, I'd read G. Edward Griffith's book and was very excited about the things that he's been doing, and I saw him pull this group together, and I thought this is something that we need to come and be a part of.
Very good. And survivors, you said? Of what?
Yes, the USS Liberty was basically it was a spy ship that was attacked by Israel during the Six-Day War in 1967.
And what was your involvement in that ship?
I met survivors while marketing a motion picture project, a Western called Jericho.
Yeah.
I had never heard of it, and being an Academy grad, I was very surprised that the general public knows nothing about the attack on the USS Liberty. Although 34 sailors were murdered and 174 wounded, it was buried, it was covered up, and the surrounding circumstances are very insightful when you start to study this.
And that's covered in your film.
Oh, well, I've got a book called Eagles Are Gathering that actually has a lot of information about this and as it relates to other things that are going on.
Or interesting?
Every one of the speakers represents an area of expertise which I don't have, and I think that listening to them and their perspectives and how this all comes together tells a very compelling story that the general public is not even aware of. So,
Besides the speakers, which were awesome, the people. The people here are people that are awake, who are interested in learning more, and who want to do something. So I really hope that after the conference that there will be, what can we do next, would come out of this. She knows her stuff. She really knew about what the federal government does, and she knows how to approach them, especially legally in the courts, I'm sure. I was just impressed by the knowledge everybody had, all the speakers, and the enthusiasm, and they were just so interested in their topics and interested in being here.
I am a retired public high school teacher from Amherst, Massachusetts. I have been following Ed Griffin for about 20 years and have been to many of his conferences about everything from the United Nations to the Federal Reserve to cancer treatments. He is an expert in many, many fields. I can't remember her name, Holly, the woman who spoke about education. I heard her in December at Ed's conference on debunking climate change, but talking about the green curriculums in the school systems all over the country, and I have seen that with my own eyes, and it is very frightening and disappointing. And at first, most of my colleagues just sit around the table and complain about why aren't the kids learning anything anymore? Why don't they learn, math and reading and regular subjects? And this explains why. And so I find listening to her very, very enlightening.
Yeah. And what do you think, just talking about the general mix of speakers yesterday?
Oh, it's out of this world. I wasn't planning on coming. Massachusetts is pretty far away. I'd never been to Montana, and my daughter got married 2 weeks ago, and I thought, no way. And when I saw the lineup of speakers, I just said, I have to go. I have to. They're the top people, and half of them are people that I follow online anyway. And I was just, the lineup is incredible.
I mean, I was absolutely surprised, and I think a lot of people I talked to here were that, one, it was so well attended. I mean, we're so glad, I think, to see that so many people are actually awake and want to share. But also, the speakers were phenomenal. I mean, there wasn't a one. I mean, I specifically wanted to come because of John B. Wells, Ty Bollinger, and some of the others. But everybody was amazing. I took away a lot from the education, Holly, and also from the woman that spoke. There were so many. The woman that spoke on taxes, I really want to talk to her in greater detail. The attorney, really eye-opening. The farmer, because I live in an area where, as we think about retirement, I mean, farming was one of the things that came into mind, and I had no idea that the amount of regulations that are in place so impact your ability to just maintain your own lifestyle, like raising chickens and that sort of thing. It's amazing. It's horrible, the regulation.
Right. So what are you going to take home? Anything that's going to affect how you what you do from here on?
Everything. I mean, from friends' names, new friends, to books, to the DVD Revelation, which we got last night at the dinner, and just a lot of great podcast information and resources to go into and to dig deeper, to share little bits and pieces with friends. So
you listen to John B. Wells. How long have you been kind of listening to him?
I was a charter member. As soon as Coast dropped him, I was so mad. I sent an email to George Norrie, told him how upset I was that John B. was the best thing he had going, and immediately signed up. I was so horrified, at first that he was going to be off the air, and so really have supported that with the phenomenal. I mean, John B. Wells has been tremendous, and I think helping people, but giving them a real gift of information we cannot get anywhere else. So I really am appreciative to what he's doing for everybody, and told him that.
Yeah, nice to be able to meet him face to face.
Absolutely.
One of the reasons why we wanted to come to the Red Pill Expo, the first one, is there's people here that perceive the world very differently, right? And there's a lot of people here who are interested, as we found out, about cryptocurrencies, and we wanted to represent that segment.
And you've kind of got an advanced take on cryptocurrency, right?
That's right. We do have an advanced take on cryptocurrencies. We're privacy oriented. We're a fast transaction, and we felt like this is a perfect match, talking to people about personal freedoms and privacy. One of the things we're really passionate about is having conversations with individuals about cryptocurrency and breaking down the fear barrier into entering that market. So if you look at the current market of cryptocurrencies, it's about 100 billion right now. They're projecting it'll be 10 trillion within 5 years. So we are what's called a fork of Bitcoin, where it basically means you take the code base and then you make improvements upon it. My favorite conversations are just individuals coming up saying, I've heard about Bitcoin, it scares me, can we have a conversation? Those are the best for me.